if police know, if you speak to anybody, police will arrest you, they will detain you, they will do this, they will do that. So they instill fear into these victims. So much so that they don't know what to do. Even when they are being told that you have the right to speak out, they'll be like, no, this person was trying to do, was trying to improve my life, and I don't want to jeopardize their life. You know, all those things that we talk about. When things happen and you're supposed to report, the next thing is, oh, no, that means I've handed the person over to God. I don't have any problem with you handing over people to God. But at the end of the day, I have a problem when you do not report cases to the police so that it can be dealt with and other victims can be saved from such. It's a huge problem in our community. And I speak to pastors and imams and leaders and say to them that I beg you. I know they use the Bible passage that they say that, as believers, you should not take your case, call the elders in the church. This is not the one you call the elder in the church to. This is not the one. This is the one you go to court. Yes, you don't go to court and come back and be friends. Fine. There's a Yoruba adage here, who cares? Because what is happening is, unfortunately, we have a lot of people who call themselves either immigration lawyers or immigration advisors that don't have a clue, and they're messing up people's cases. They are messing up people's lives. And the more, because as far as I'm concerned, I think we're condoning them. The minute we start to report them, it will stop them from going to do the same thing to other people. And this is why, for me, I stand firm to say this is not the case where the Bible says you call elders. No, because elder does not know anything about immigration law, except if the elder is an immigration lawyer. Yes. Ever for anything, no. The more you follow, the more you give the person the opportunity to go and, mess other people's lives up. And that is happening a lot. And another thing that we say in the community is, if they're going to jail anyway. Really? What about your own life that has been destroyed? You don't have a life? We need to start changing the narrative. We need to start to change our mindsets. What the government is saying is, the government is not saying you should not be here. The government is saying, when you're here, we need to know you're here. I'll give you a good example. God forbid somebody is going by the street and gets knocked down by a car. The person driving the car, there is no record of the person, either by the police or the home office or anything. You would expect the police to arrest the person, wouldn't you? So how? Well, where do you want them to start from? When they don't even have the record of the person. A lot of people are here, not in this room, are in this country without even any government authority knowing that they're here. And when anything happens to them, you expect some sort of assistance. How? Where? I say to people, the worst thing you can do to yourself is not to have any form of application. You need to have some form of application. Irrespective of how you came into this country, you need to have that application there, in there. And that gives you the opportunity for people for you and your lawyer, a good lawyer, I urge, not all these under the courtesy lawyers and immigration advisors that we have all over the place. No. So please, we know very well that some people are here and they've come to the end of the road. But some people actually want to go back. And when I say this, people say, are you serious? People are actually going back. I get calls from the High Commission voluntarily saying, this person wants to go back, asking for us to issue ETD, but we need to be sure, and I speak to the individual. Some people have come to the end of the road and they're like, whoa, I am fed up. I would rather be back home than going through this. You will, if you know what some people are going through, you will cry. If you know what some people are going through, you know that sort of the prodigal son that was eating pig food. Some people's stories, and I look at them like, how the hell you are abroad? They will say you are in the abroad, as we always say. Some people are better off back home. What the government is saying is, if anybody is in that situation, they have exploited every means of regularizing their papers. And they have come to the end of the road and say, you know what, there is no way. I want to go back home. You can actually go back home in dignity and in respect. You will go back home without anybody knowing your business. You will go back home like any other person. You will have the time to wrap up your affairs and actually go back home. And the beauty of that is that if all of us will have smartphone, and I say this, you know, I'm not disrespecting anyone, but our smartphone is not only for gossip. It is actually for us to use it for our own benefit. If you Google re-entry ban in Google, just type in re-entry ban in Google, you will see it. When people go back home voluntarily, they are actually able to return to the country after 1 year. But if you're removed, let me also clarify that. When people are removed due to the fact that they don't have papers, I know everybody out there calls it deportation. You're only deported if you have committed a crime. Yeah? It's called enforced removal, administrative removal. Okay? So there's a difference. Now, if then happens that in the course of you not having or regularizing your papers, we come in contact with you and you're removed, you get a 10-year ban. So if you compare a 10-year ban and a 1-year ban, which one is better? A 1-year ban. Some people within a year are able to come back. I'll give you a good story. There was a young man I met at an event, a similar event like this. And he had been living here since 2011. He was living with his partner. They had done church blessing. His case was a straightforward case. But for some reason, I don't know, people have been giving him wrong advice. But the beauty of it was that he had not committed any crime. I need to put that out. This guy had not committed any crime. Fast forward, I had a chat with him. I said, looking at your case, your wife can actually support you, right? I would advise you, I would say to you, go back to Nigeria, go and get married in Nigeria, and file from Nigeria. The guy looked at me and said, Nigeria, possible. I said, well, take it or leave it, that's what I can say. This was in December. He'll call me, I'll call him. Even the wife called me and said, Auntie, are you sure? I said, well, as sure as today. Fast forward, January 7th, 2006. I think we're 19 now. I think 2006 and 17. This guy went back home. Went back to Nigeria. When he got to Nigeria, he went to the registry, did 21 days notice, The wife went to Nigeria, they got married. As soon as they got married, they submitted their application. And the person who was along 27th of October of that same year, this guy was back in the country legally. Legally. This is somebody that Tobari Van, in fact, he said he doesn't go out. The guy was getting depressed. He even said, now, when he got to Nigeria, he now saw the life in Nigeria and he said he wasn't coming back. I have assured your wife that you are coming back. Please come back. Even if it is to come back and then go back, He said, Auntie, he had so many offers, his friends were treating him well, he had a car, he had a driver. He said, that this is the life. I said, no, that's not the life. He went back for some reason. Look, he came back. Even when he came back, he said there was a day he was passing through Stratford, and he saw our van. You know that our immigration enforcement van. And he actually went there and knocked the window and said, hello. Yes? He said, severally, once he sees that van, he would jump the road without looking. So many times that cars would have knocked him off. But for the grace of God. I know people who have gone back and set up businesses for themselves. Yes, everybody will not, I will not advise you. We only give directions. We have had situations where when someone came to our surgery was when they were told that they had been granted leave to remain. Meanwhile, they were still looking for money for lawyer. Yes. She has, okay, in fact, she's, because, like I was saying to my sister earlier, I hope this is not going to be a one-off. This is going to be a regular thing. If we set up a surgery, Mercy will be the one that will be in charge of that surgery. She'll talk more about the surgery. So I think we should give them some other examples.
Hello, my name is Mercy. Following on what Yemisi said earlier, we've had cases where people keep reporting, they say sign, they come to sign, and I said to this lady, elderly lady, oh, you don't have to come here, you've been granted. Oh no, my lawyer wants 5,000, I don't want to be arrested by immigration, just sign me in. I said, I can't. Anyway, in the end, I got a copy of the letter for her, and I told her, don't go to the solicitor, this is what you need. And she came probably 3 times. Oh, no. My lawyer still wants 5,000. So I think it's relevant that we know which lawyers we're going for. You can check if they are registered on the internet. You just Google them. Don't go for advisors. Immigration advisor means they're not a qualified solicitor. They just know about immigration. It's not the same. Go for somebody with good reputation. Google them, read about them. Now you can even rate your lawyer on the internet. Don't go because, they help this friend. This friend's case might be different. And also something Yemisi forgot to mention. When she mentioned about the crime, just make sure you have a clean record. That's very important. The other thing is make sure you have just one name. This is very relevant. I deal with marriages. I've been dealing with that for the last 6 years, and I've been in the job for 18 years, so I've seen a lot. They try to get married in your real name because they want their children to have their real name. Meanwhile, they claimed asylum in another name, and they came on a visa in another name. Well, we call something credibility, and it means, credibility in the word itself. You're not credible. The moment you lie once, everything that comes out of your mouth is a lie, because we have no way of checking. Is this person credible? It's like being in a relationship with somebody. The moment they lie once to you, everything becomes questionable. It's the same. Once you lie, you've lied about your name. It's a big deal to lie about your name. Not once, not twice, 3 times. So this one, we went back to get married. It was straightforward because we could track when he got the visa, when he came in. Same woman he tried to marry. They've been living together. We tracked their records and the address. There was a lot of information to go on. And they looked like a credible couple. However, if you're married in a different name, and your name with the doctor is a different name, and you came on, a different name, when you go back to get married, which name are you going to use? How about we gonna look for an audit trail of your life in the UK? And another thing is, when you've lived here, it used to be 14 years, but it's now 20 years, unfortunately. When it comes to that 20 years, you have to provide documentation to cover every year. And I mean every year. If you can cover every month of the year, it's great. There are things like a doctor's letter that you can use. Something as silly as attending your child's one-to-one at school, being a member of the PTA. These things help because it shows that you were physically there. You came to a meeting, you went to meet your child's teacher, you went to see your doctor, you had a baby, but were you physically here? So look at the things that can confirm that you were physically in the UK. And it's important that you cover the whole year. So that's why MC said, make sure you're registered somewhere. Somewhere. You are here in the system somewhere. It could be anything. Of course, if you can work illegally and you can provide your tax records, that's amazing. But if you can't do that, look at doctor's records. And there you went to the hospital, just keep them. You know, when you were invited to your child's parents' meeting, and you went, you kept taking pictures. You know, I'm not talking about wearing the same outfit, taking pictures to cover 3 years. We've seen that before. The same picture was used to cover 3 years. So when exactly was that taken? You know, we're not that stupid. And then sometimes they use, this is especially for visa applications, when you try to show that you have connection with somebody. Oh, they've been sending me money. And then they bring the evidence and it's the same receipt book. And it's following 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the same receipt book to cover 5 years. So nobody has sent money from this agency. Only you did for the last 5 years. You see the same receipt book one after the other. How did this company manage to stay in business with nobody sending money apart from the person who sends money to you? So if you're using Western Union in Tesco's in Leyton and you're using MoneyGram in Birmingham, you know, that looks normal, that looks real. You know, you can't use the same receipt book 1, 2, 3 to cover 5 years. No, we're not that stupid. The caseworkers are trained to spot these things. And the big thing for me is forged documents. I hate them. I don't even want to see it. You know, I don't even want to speak to the person once I know they've submitted forged documents. That is an insult. It really is. And some of them, the documentation is so bad. At some point, we were dealing with an epidemic of Ghanaian birth certificates. It was horrible. You know, sometimes I felt like I was responsible for all Ghanaians in the world because I'll be sitting at on my desk and somebody will go, oh, look what one of your sisters brought. Look what one of your brothers brought. And I'm like, I just want to scream and tell them, don't do it. Because sometimes the lies are what gets us into trouble. I've had a Nigerian woman who came to report and we were looking to detain her. So I was doing the detention. Yes, I do that as well. And well, I was interviewing her for the last time. We look at circumstances, if her circumstances have changed. And then she was very, very nervous. I said, well, you have every right to be nervous because this is not good. And she said, no, it's not. I said, why? What is it? My kids are in school. And I said, excuse me? Yeah, my children will be finishing school. I said, excuse me. I left, went back into the farm. There was never any mention of a child. Oh. Exactly. Even you are going out. There was never, not anywhere of a child. And I said, you have children, a child? Oh yeah, I have 3. What are their ages? She gave me the ages, their names, their schools, the telephone numbers. I went back, called each school, and the kids were there. I sent an email to the school for their parents' records. It was her name. And the name we know her. Needless to say, within 6 months she had been granted. I made sure of that. Because the kids were over 7 years and, you know, she could provide enough information to cover so many years in the UK. So the children that she was trying to cover were the ones who were going to save her. So the things that you try so hard, because basically what her explanation was, oh, at least if I go, my sister will look after them, and after certain time they'll get British passport. Why do you want to put your children through that? So the children, she was too busy trying to hide and protect so that they could live here. Those are the children who helped her gain her indefinite leave to remain. You know, she had certain illnesses which she had also kept from the Home Office. So her removals would have been a disaster, a personal one for her, but because of her lies. So it's very important. Use your own name, especially for the doctor. It's extremely important. And if you, at some point, lied about your name, you can sort it out. It can be done. It can be done. Just go and tell the truth and provide documentation to confirm your real name. I'm not saying it's going to save you, but it can help. It can go a long way. It can be rescued. It can be done. It's a long process, but it can be done. It can be done. Yeah? A question?
Let me just add one more before. Another one that I think is important to add, because I've received a few phone calls where people, let me give this example. There was a woman who was brought in from Nigeria. She was actually working for this elderly woman in Nigeria, and then they now said to compensate her to come and visit London. And who would be told you want to go to London that would refuse? What she did not know was that the woman's daughter here had a baby, and they wanted her to come and look after that baby. When she got here, and typical Nigerian woman, looking after a child, looking after a child is no big deal, is it? No, because she was like, she was a grandmother, so it is no big deal to look after a 3-month-old baby. What she did not know was that they were going to enslave her. And guess what? The person that had the baby is a 30-something-year-old girl. The woman will wake up at 5, not sleep until 11. Yes.
She was an elderly woman.
And she was in her mid-50s. This woman said 3 days in a week, she would have to sleep in the baby's room. So you can imagine she would have woken up at 5, she won't sleep until 11, and she will still have to look after baby. At night. Also, there were times she was made to use her hands to wash. She was stopped from using the washing machine to the point that she had blisters in her hands, and she was still forced to wash. She was even begging the woman, the girl, I can't call her woman, please send me back home. Send me back. The girl said no. The only phone call she was allowed to make when she got here, she was told that phone call cost £50. Please tell me. And all she did was, hello, I'm in London. They told her the cost of she said, okay, fine. You take it out of the money you're supposed to be giving me. Another story. No, I won't pay you because I need you through my mother. I will send the money to my mother. Yes. The woman is alive. The woman is alive. She will go to church. This is the one that really, really got me angry. She will go to church with them. The husband will slip £1 into her hand to put it to offering. As soon as the girl sees her talking to any member of the church, she'll quickly go there. So please, let us be watchful. Let us begin to look after ourselves, because the same community that should be protecting its own is the same community exploiting its own. You will not have somebody from Bangladesh community come and exploit somebody in the Nigerian community. No! The long and short of the story, the mama now came from Nigeria. The woman now said, okay, whatever it is I've done to your daughter, I am sorry. You know how we what's the word? How we apologize for no reason. This is somebody that has been wrongly dealt with, that has been dealt with in a nasty way. Now begging somebody that is the age of her daughter. They now said, when the mother now came, they now said, they were now discussing, she now overheard them. They didn't give her a dime. They now said they will take her to Nigeria High Commission, get emergency job certificate, get her a ticket. But it is from the money that they're supposed to be paying her. Meanwhile, in the midst of this, her husband died, her mother died, her sister died. Yes. Obari. She said when she heard that, meanwhile, she didn't have a kid to, but she can't tell you, this is where we live. Even the girl, she said the whole time she was living in the house, she never looked her in the face. So if the girl stands in front of her, she would not recognize her. Yes. And you see when you hear these things, when she was telling her story, there was no wet eye, there was no dry eye in the room. Because she was crying, and even with that, she was still saying, oh, I'm like, if I could slap the woman, I was like, what do you mean? I said to her, if you want to follow, you have to stop her because you go and do it to another person. Give us her details so that we can deal with her and she will stop her from doing the same thing to other people. Yes. That is follow in my own book. Yes. Luckily, somebody referred her to me and then, handed it over to me. Now she's been granted indefinite leave to remain. I am not saying that will be the case for everyone, but at least you know that the person that has done this to you will be dealt with by the authorities and you're saving other people. We've had cases where somebody went home and brought a 16-year-old and a 20-year-old, locked them up somewhere in Peckham. When they were leaving Nigeria, they told them they were coming here, that's why shame. Guess what? When they came here, they were using them as prostitutes in Peckham. Yes.
Very common.
Very common.
Very.
In Leyton London.
Yeah.
Oh.
Excuse me.
This one that I told you, when do you think it happened?
Peckham, yeah. And there's been a case that I dealt with, this was years ago. It's been going on for years, probably about 10 years ago. Next to Good Green. Palmer's Green. Palmer's Green, yeah. Palmer's Green, yeah.
Yes, it is London, yes. Not in Ajegule or Kumasi or anywhere. No, in this our abroad that we're in. So please, it may not be you, it may be somebody you know, and just let them make that phone call. There's also the Crime Stoppers. You don't have to give them your name, you don't have to give them anything. Just call. It is better to save a life and to say, I don't want to get them into trouble. Look at, I know this happened a long time ago, but look at Victoria Clamby. If somebody had made that phone call, that girl would be alive today. Think about it. If that was your daughter, your niece, your son, your brother, how would you feel? We need to start speaking out, looking out for one another. More importantly, we need to start getting involved. For those of us that have children, you see, like I said at the beginning, you cannot be outside and wanting to be part of the party. There are jobs in the civil service. This is 2019. I still go to meetings and I'm the only African face. It should not be happening in 2019. But it will continue to happen if you and I do not encourage ourselves to come to the table. There are civil service jobs. All you need to do is register. You get the notification. If you have problems with because completing civil service application is an art. Even me that have been there for so long is an art. We have a group of Afro-Caribbean people that are ready to help to bring people in. You come in, majority are executive level down. It's like this. This thing is that you have so many of us down here, and then when you're going up, So please, let us encourage ourselves, those people that are qualified to work, come into the civil service. The pay is good. Training is fantastic. Annual leave is fantastic. It starts with, I think it's 25 days, and then it moves on to about 30 days after X number of
10 years.
After 10 years, exactly. I've been in this system for long, so
I know.
So, we're going to open it up for questions and answers, and we're going to have one-to-ones, because we know that some people, because of the sensitive nature. But you know what I say to people? One thing that is killing us as Africans is, there's an adage in Yoruba language that when you have a wound in your hand, you don't hide it. Thank you. Let me interpret it for my Ghanaian friends. That if you have a wound, if your hand is paining you, you don't hide it. You bring it out so that it is treated, isn't it? Yes. But there is one thing about us, and that thing is killing us. You know what I say to people? Timbani, if I have a challenge, and I come to you, and I say to you, I didn't eat yesterday, I do. Please, I'll give you £10. If you like, go and broadcast it on Facebook. That is your problem. You know what? Because the people, number one, me and it. The Yorubas will say, something. You know, as in, you know, if I am not ashamed, if my friend, you know, whatever happens to my friend, it's similar to birds of the same feather, but it's deeper than that. So I said to people, we need to change our mindset about speaking out. We need to start speaking out. A lot of people are dying because they're not speaking out, because they're too ashamed to seek for help. There's a lot of help there. If you share your problem with somebody and they spread it, your body is lessened now. Because they said Wahala shared is what I can't remember that proverb again. So let us stop this shame thing. It is, even some people have mental health issues. Some people have mental health issues. This is another thing. I don't know your law and you pastors. If you are not a mental health first aider or a practitioner, please, yes, Ayadurawa. Even in the Bible, there were mental health cases. So, and it is not in all cases, not in shame. The one that we cause on ourselves is more than the woman next door that is chasing our lives. I have siblings that go to a particular church where it is about fall and die. In fact, I called my sister one day. I said, do not ever send me all this fall and die prayer. Because if my enemy falls and die, when will they see the glory of God in my life? No, I don't want them to fall and die. Let them live and see the glory of God in my life. And I'm spending so much time falling and dying that I don't even know how to praise God. I don't have time to adore Him, which is what He requires from us. So what are we talking about? So please, mental health is key, is happening around us. Suicide amongst Christians is happening. We need to start talking about it. Please, I beg you. When you're going through, it is normal to go through stress. But having that coping mechanism or coping skills is what separates you from somebody who is able to survive stress and someone who is unable to survive stress. Depression is real. Depression is real. It does not mean that God does not love you. It does not mean that you're a sinner. All pastors that say that because you have depression, you're a sinner. It is a lie. Depression can happen to anyone. Anyone. We just need to speak out and access all the assistance and the help. Yeah. In fact, for us, let me first face our men. For you men, please, those of us going through menopause is linked to depression as well. You must learn to understand your woman. Okay? And for us women, going through depression, going through menopause, you need to speak out, you need to search for help. Seek help. And if you choose not to seek help, have other things in place that would enable you. I think about a week ago, I was discussing with some friends of mine, I'm going to be 50 in December by God's grace. And I was just saying that, you know what, I can't, amongst us, we're just saying, we can't remember our parents complaining about menopause. But then, quickly I said, that is fine. The fact that our parents were able to cope with it does not mean that we can cope with it here. Because there are other external factors that may not allow us to cope with it as our parents who lived back home coped with it. So if you're going through menopause, please, husbands, partners, support and have an understanding of what menopause. You see now, when I said I was hot, maybe other people were cold. All of a sudden I was just hot flushing, I was just feeling hot. There are times I will become very, very irritable. This minute I can be very irritable, the next minute I will be very sweet. It is for our men to please understand that it will pass. But some people go through it for like 10 years. Some people will go through it and not feel anything. You cannot compare them. It's like getting pregnant. Some people will balloon, face will, and some people in pregnancy they will be glowing. Would you not say because somebody is glowing in pregnancy, your own wife that is looking like that Osholong now? I mean, it's so interesting how I'm beginning to love Nollywood now because they're bringing a lot of education into a lot of things. I was watching a Nollywood movie 2 days ago. A man married a young girl, pretty black, and thank God because in fact these days I don't see black girls anymore. So whenever I see people like Mercy, I'm always admiring her. Because everybody now has turned into Igbo. Even those of us that are naturally light, there are times I wish I was as dark as Mercy. Totally, because you don't find them anymore. And in this movie, the husband was adoring the wife when she was pretty good shape. As soon as she got pregnant, the face ballooned, the skin became the guy could not stand there anymore. To the point that this was someone that the man would wake up in the morning, make tea, make breakfast, promised her heaven and earth. He said to the doctor, I can't even stand her. And the doctor had to explain to her, do you know what is going on? She is not in control. This girl, she couldn't even smell perfume. When I was pregnant, I couldn't stand perfume. So I could relate to it. But the beauty was, for me, in that movie, the message is educating our men that when your partners are going through A, B, C, D, please support them. Last but not the least, domestic violence. It is not only women that suffer, our men are suffering. And because of this thing about ego, man is the head of, I'm not disputing, nobody is arguing that man is the head. But men do cry. You have blood running through you. You have water. You can be emotional. This African thing where, as a man, you cannot cry. Jesus wept. So which one is your own? Yeah. If Jesus can weep, why would we bring up our boys not to cry? Why would we bring up our boys to suppress their oppression, their emotions? Why would we stop our boys from reaching out and seeking for help? So many men are going through domestic violence and they can't talk about it. I went to a church about 4 weeks ago, and a man approached me and said, yes, I came to this country through my wife, and yes, things have happened. But the little he said, I knew this man was being abused. And it is now so bad that the wife has not said she's not going to apply for him. I said, don't worry, just put down all your own evidence that you have been going through domestic violence. And now that she's supposed to apply for you, she's using that. So the man has become, when they say Beldani in Nigeria, Beldani means, how do you interpret that now? Beldani is when they say the person has eaten vegetable. Once a man loves mercy, once a man shows love to a woman in Nigeria, it means he's either eating vegetable. That means the woman has loved him under the arm. You're laughing, sir. Once a man decides to cook for the wife, do what is normal. Yeah. They will say, the wife has put his head under the armpits. Or the man has eaten vegetable, so he's lost all his senses. It is a lie. Yeah. So please, men, and there's a lot of mental health amongst our men that are not being reported. The time you suffer in silence is gone. There's a lot of, it is not shameful. There is no shame in it, I beg. There is no shame in saying, I am going through this. There's a lot of organizations out there that would help you and support you. Please. At the end of it all, for women too that are suffering domestic violence, there's a lot of help out there. Let us speak out. You see, this thing where people get married and come, and then there was another one. The woman has she's British, so the kids, and you know what? Because of the children, she is now refusing to apply for British passport for the children.
They don't need the passport.
No, I think she has that. No, she has ILR.
Okay.
She has ILR. She has ILR. But she's not. She has refused to apply for passport for the kids because she does not want the husband to use them to apply. It is sad, but I pray that God will help us. Thank you very much. I know we have gone on for quite a long time.
I have an example of the mental health issues amongst men. I do some work with Homerton Hospital, and I had a phone call that there was a Nigerian man there who wanted to go back to Nigeria. Anyway, so I went to see him, spoke to him, lovely, he was from Benin, you know, he wanted to go, he was looking forward to it. He had even gone and applied for, well, the hospital helped him to apply for ETUs. What transpired was that I went back onto his visa application. A Nigerian lady here went back home, married him, and brought him here. And well, with the application, when they went for the interview, the visa officer said the man was too vulnerable to travel abroad. So they refused the visa. Anyway, he went to court, and the court said it wasn't their decision to make, and that they should allow him. I think he suffered from mental health issues, so it kind of bordered on discrimination. So we lost the case, and he was granted and came. Fast forward 2 years, when it was time for the indefinite leave application, this woman went with the man to Homerton Hospital A&E and said, sit here, I'm coming. 9 a.m., 10, 11, 11 p.m. He just sat there. He just sat there. No food, no water. And the nurses noticed and went to speak to him. He said, my wife said I should sit here, I'm not moving. They offered him water, he drank. They told him, just use the toilet, she'll come back. Oh, well, no, I'm going to sit here. So in the end, he was sectioned. By midnight, he was sectioned, taken to a ward. And then, I mean, there must have been 6'3". Big man, handsome, really, really good looking. And that was his stay in Homerton for a month. After that, he said, I don't know where to go. He didn't know where he lived. Knew the wife's name, but you know how we all have traditional names. Not necessarily the one in the book, you know. So in the end, we knew who she was, but there wasn't enough evidence to do anything. And in fact, she had committed any crime, really. You know, it didn't fall under anything because we got the CCTV and it was true. She had actually dropped him there. There was nothing we could do. All we wanted to do was to help him. So in the end, we got the application. We even took him shopping, gave him money, and then we wrote down how to travel from Lagos.
As home office.
Travel from Lagos to his village. Anyway, it happened on Thursday. Saturday morning, he called me to say thank you. And he even talked to me about all the foods that he had eaten. And, you know, I had a bottle of soup. My mom and dad are very happy to have me home. So that was a very happy story. When you need help, there is help. You shouldn't be scared. And then they put all these ideas into your head. When you go to the home office, we'll do this, we'll do that. When you are a vulnerable person, you are treated as a victim, not as a subject. If you help us to put people behind bars, that's even better. But the first instinct is not to send you home. The first instinct is to keep you safe. Your safety is paramount. The man will tell you, if you go to the home office, they will send you back. Well, it's not the end of the road, is it? You want to be alive. Just think safety first. And when you come to us, you are given a safe place. And then we look at you, we help you, we take you to the doctor, we assess you before we even talk about immigration. In fact, we don't do it. We give you to a charity, a Salvation Army and other charities to actually help you, and we pay them to do that. So it's not all about immigration in the home office. It's about a lot more, a hell of a lot more. So yeah, please. Thank you.
Thank you. So it's time for questions. We also have feedback form because what we would like, it's okay for us to hear and be talking. We would like, hopefully, the feedback form to tell us if there are other topics you would want to hear maybe there are other events you want to invite us to, maybe there are other, whatever it is, please put it in the feedback form. It will help us so that it will help to improve our engagement with the community, which is what we really want. Thank you. So, like I said, I know some people would have one-to-one questions. We'll quickly take questions down. The ones that would want to see us will be somewhere in the corner there, sitting and, just attending to people. Thank you. You are raising your hand.
It's a feedback form, so I'll come back. If you don't have a pen, it will help you.
Yeah, thank you very much for the speech. It's so interesting. Actually, what I was expecting today is all about, the home office, the deportation and stuff. But I really don't know that you do extracurricular activities as well. Anyway, you mentioned during your speech, you mentioned about the solicitors that are not doing their job. So how can we go about it? And the second thing is, which address can we take them to and what are the processes? Because there are lots more, the list is endless, which I myself have come across, and I myself have actually fought with one solicitor all by myself. And he's still on the road living, still taking people's money.
You know what? That is a very good question. Usually when I say that, I add to it, but I wanted people to ask that question so that I know that you're listening. There is what you call law society. If you Google law society, if any solicitor, you feel they have misrepresented you or they have not represented you, all you need to do is send an email to law society. In fact, tell them you report them to law society and you see how they will change. Like that. Law society, because they will strike them off. Just write it down. Law society, Google it. Please, we need to, I don't care if people say we're bringing down Nigerian lawyers. No. If they are destroying people's lives, they have no business being immigration lawyers. Start telling them you will report them to law society. Law society will strike them off like that. They will not practice. They will investigate them and they know it. But because they know that a lot of Nigerians don't know about law society.
Most of them are not registered, you see. So if they're not registered, they can't strike them off. So you have to, it's your job to make sure they are registered before you engage them. And it's on the internet. You search.
No, for them to operate, they have to be part of law society.
No, they are immigration advisors.
No, I'm not talking about. Even there is a body that regulates immigration advisors.
Okay.
Immigration is called OISC.
Yeah.
Office of the Immigration. I'll give the details to Councillor Martin. Immigration advisors are also regulated. You can actually go to their websites and type in the name of your immigration advisor, not the lawyer now. The immigration advisor, if they've struck them off, you will see it on the website. For every single person who is a lawyer in the United Kingdom, you must be on, law society. And all a client needs to do, even before they hear the case of the solicitor, they can sanction them. And lawyers fear law society. They fear them more than any other. They fear them more than police, because that means your license is revoked. Yeah.
An average on which
and I'll come back to you. So has that answered your question?
Thank you.
So, and even in fact, I think we're pushing something in the Home Office now. We're not there yet. But if you have names of lawyers that you think are criminals, you can email them to me or to Mercy. Yeah. We need to start dealing with them. There's somebody here. Oh, okay. Sorry, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
For all you have been saying is very good, and we assimilated some of them, and they are good questions. Mostly, anybody that hears Home Office always feel that, I don't want to have issue with them. Yeah. And I know from all the explanation you gave to us that they are friendly. I have a scenario that I want to tell you. There is a cousin of mine that the family, they are married back in Nigeria. Their marriage is about 33 years. They've got a big product. When I mean big product, the big boys and the lady, they are working here. Two of them are working with NHS. the other one is social worker. And what happened is that the husband came to come and the husband has always been coming here. The children, they did all their schoolings here, up to the university level, up to their master's degree. But they are elderly, well, I say boys, I mean boys, 25, 33, and so on like that. But where I'm going is that their father has always been coming here. Their father is back in Nigeria and working in Nigeria perfectly. He has a good job. But for the fact that the father doesn't want to come and settle with the family earlier because he is the one financing the children, because the cost of education here is astronomical. So the father has always been financing. So when the father got retired now, voluntary retirement from the job, he wanted to come and settle with the family here. He came in with 2 years visa. But unfortunately that he needs to file here. Before he did the filing here through a lawyer, through a reputable lawyer. When I mean a reputable lawyer, I'm not downsiding Nigerians, because the children said that we are not going to any Nigerian lawyer. Not that we are not good.
You have very good Nigerian lawyers. We
have a very good Nigerian. We have a very. That's what I'm saying. We have a very good Nigerian lawyer. But due to the state that maybe the children, they have inclination for the foreign things or that kind of a thing, they have to go and see one of these lawyers, and they put in the application, and the application went through, and then by the time they replied the application, they said the man has overstayed. The man came in precisely 2015 into this place, and since the man came in, he has been living with the wife since then, with the children. So what happened when they put in the application, the children too put in their letter as well in support of their parent application. And when the Home Office got it, they went through it precisely 3 or what month do you normally say? 6 months. Precisely something returned to them, and then it was declined that the man needs to go back home. But what I want to say is that this is a man that doesn't have anybody. I must be frank with you. The parents lost the mother sometimes ago, lost the father sometimes ago. Even the parents is part of what is still keeping the man in Nigeria that has not been coming to settle down, because they are elderly people. So fortunately enough, or fortunately enough, the parents passed away, the 2 parents. Now he came in, the wife has everything that Home Office can ask of. When I mean that, anything that Home Office can ask, all the documentation from this one to, he's a very close cousin of mine, because we did the application together. I assisted her in looking through some of these things. I said,
is the wife legally here?
Legally, he's having indefinite. She has indefinite stay.
Okay, you know what? Okay.
She has an indefinite stay. But what I want to tell you is that when they say the man should go back to Nigeria, going back to Nigeria is not the problem. But the chances of, we are always skeptical. What is the assurance that when I get back to the place, they will give it to me? That's the most irony of it.
Was he not given right of appeal?
He wasn't given the right.
What was the reason for rejecting?
The rejecting is that they said the man has overstayed, that I think the children cannot support his application, that kind of a thing, that I live in there 25. And this is a man that has been coming here, that has been given 2 years each time he comes to come and visit the family. Hardly if we miss any year to come and see them here. So the chances of the problem the man is having is that if I go there, I have my wife here, I have my children here, I have everything here. Going back to Nigeria, what would I be doing? So I might be stranded.
Sorry, why? Can I stop you there, sir?
Yeah.
Why did he make the application from there to come and settle?
Come again?
Why did he apply to come and settle?
To come and settle.
When he was coming.
Okay. You see, that is what I said, that the mistake that they did is that one has always been thinking that because you people said you can file in here as well too.
No, can I explain something to you? I know you're quite emotional with that, but I will explain something. If you are coming here and you want to come and join your wife or partner, you need to make the correct application. He didn't. And when he came, he waited to overstay before he put the application in. That's the reason why he did not get an appeal. He did have a right of appeal because it's called non-suspensive. You can only exercise that once you leave the country. When you're an overstayer, you're not entitled to a full appeal. 1. 2. When you make an application to come here on a visit visa and not on a marriage or to join your partner, and then you come here and you decide to do it, I'm trying to choose my words carefully. There is an element of cheating. So what stopped this man after 33 years of being married to this woman? What stopped him from making the correct visa application? Why did he want to do a quick shortcut? Come here first and then do it. Do the right thing from the beginning and you won't have any issues. If you're married to somebody for 33 years and you have grown-up children, the possibility of the application being refused is 0. So there is an element of deception. When you come on a visit visa and all of a sudden you want to get married, we don't like it. Tell the truth from the beginning. When he got to the airport, what did he say to the immigration officer at the desk? Because they say to you, good afternoon, how long are you here for and what's your purpose? The purpose of your visit. So you say to them, and they write it down on your landing card. So you say to them, I'm here to visit my family for 3 weeks. They write it down. So you don't go back after 3 weeks. After 6 months, you make an application to stay as a husband. It doesn't work like that.
You see,
it's cheating and it's deception.
You see, it's just because you people are enlightening us now that we got to know all these things. If you are in Nigeria, let's be frank, if there's some application you make that, I'm not encouraging the man to tell a lie. We are all Nigerians. There's some application you made that even if by the time you write it, they will say, oh, this person is going to stay there. You won't come back again.
Are you assuming? Of course, that application was to stay here. The application he was making wasn't an application to come and go back. He was coming to stay. So, of course, it would have been considered on his merits as somebody who's coming to live here. So, yeah, you have to make the right application. Some people use the shortcut. Oh, let me go for a tourist visa, and then once I get there, I will do this and that. It doesn't work like that. When you're on a tourist visa, technically, you cannot change it into anything. You can't be a student, you can't be anything. You have to be a tourist. Let me give you an example. Let me put this into perspective for you. I'm going to America next week for 2 weeks, for holiday to visit my brother. If I go, and then after 2 weeks, I don't leave. I've got a life here, I've got my children here, I've got my house here, I've got a job here. Do you think I will not leave after 2 weeks? I mean, does any of you believe here, sitting here, believe I will not come back after 2 weeks with all the things I've got here? It's unthinkable that I won't come back. Yeah? So, it's the same thing. If you are settled in your country, you have links, you have your family, you have this, and you go abroad on a tourist visa, there is an expectation that you come back to your life. If you don't go back to your life, then it means you lied at the beginning to get the visa. Because it's unthinkable. I know people who come on holiday all the time. They couldn't even, consider overstaying because they have to go back to their business. They have to go back to their children, to their wife, to their life. So the moment you overstay, like I said, your credibility is in doubt because you lied from the beginning.
Except if you were ill or,
Yeah, there are mitigating circumstances. There are always circumstances. For example, if you were a Libyan and then you came and something happened in Libya and the whole place was thrown into chaos, you can't go back. But then you have to go quickly to go and register and seek help that this is happening in my country, I can't go back. And please help me find my children or my family. So there are always exceptions to every rule. That's why there are loopholes in every law so that people who actually need the help can be helped. Or, for example, when he arrived here, if the wife had suddenly been taken ill, that is a mitigating circumstance. So
okay.
all that has to be considered.
Okay.
And did you put that in the application?
Yes, the wife has
evidence. Can we take this as a one-to-one? Because,
okay.
Please.
Okay.
We're taking generic questions now because we will have one-to-one with some people. Councillor.
Another colleague of ours has just joined us. I'll ask him to please come to the front. His name is Dayton. His name is Adeton, but we'll call him Dayton. Mr. Bibo. Yeah. He's one of our chief immigration officers.
Please welcome one of the
These are the ones that
official among
they
us.
make the decisions. Himself and Wesley are the people that you
Direct
need.
all the questions to him. He's a bad.
Yeah, if for instance, someone have applied to the Home Office as independent, and then
Independence, what does that mean?
By themselves. Didn't use a solicitor.
by maybe by the solicitor, maybe through solicitor, and then to the Home Office, and then after about maybe a few years into making the application,
3 years into their future.
maybe few years to the application, maybe 1 year or 2 years or whatever, and I don't know how long it takes for
doesn't take 6
people.
months.
All right.
Yes.
So in between the time of application, the person who's supposed to have depend on them, for one reason or the other, they cannot find that person anymore.
Change of circumstance.
That person was nowhere to be found. So what is it going to be a situation for this person who was dependent on that man?
How could you lose your dependent? I don't understand.
Because I have a case like that.
It's impossible to lose somebody you depend on. If it's a wife, a friend,
As
you
the
have to be
relationship
living
is
with them.
integrated. Is that the
Anyway,
case?
one way or the other, the